Hey, Tony Kager here. I'm doing a video on the big news that happened yesterday. It's old news now. It seems like everybody's covered this. WWE released 11 people, 10 of them are wrestlers, and one referee. So I'm going to do a video about it. I'm going to try to make mine a little different from everybody else's. I'm going to try to go in depth and actually talk about each guy and give my thoughts about each person. And first thing, before I start, I just read online that CM Punk and AJ are getting married today, or they already got married. So congrats to them. That's awesome. Okay, so here's to go. Let's start us off here. So let me first tell you who got released. All 11 names. It's JTG, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Oksana, Kurt Hawkins, Teddy Long, Camacho, Bros Clay, Evan Bourne, Yoshi Tatsu, and Mark Harris. Mark Harris is the referee. And let me just start with the guy who I'm upset about the most about him being released. My favorite out of this bunch, and that's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, he's only 29 years old. Yes, he made his debut in WWE in 2007. I didn't know that. But when he really started becoming a big star was in 2009. The whole storyline was how Vince McMahon signed him, personally. So that's a big deal, and they make an announcement that he was signed by Vince McMahon, and he had a nickname, the Chosen One, and he was getting wins. He became Intercontinental Champion, I think. And now his matches were fun to watch, and he got a cool song. And usually when you get a cool song, it means they're gonna do something with you, or else they would just give you a generic song. So when he got his awesome song, I think it's the song Bad Dreams or something like that it's called, by Sherman's Harvest. I've downloaded that song on CD because it's so awesome. I love that song. Yeah, I think it's called Bad Dreams. I gotta look it up. But yeah, Drew McIntyre was awesome, and then all of a sudden he stopped getting pushed. And I was reading about how they think it's because his ex-wife was Tiffany in WWE, and she's now I'm gonna butcher his first name, Taryn Terrell in TNA. I think I got that right. So apparently after they got divorced, that's when his career went down after that, and then he got put in Free MB, and I was excited when he got put in Free MB because I thought they were actually gonna do something with him, but it ended up being nothing. And it's just weird. I just saw Drew McIntyre at Payback, and that was just only less than 2 weeks ago, and now he's released. But I'm upset. I was a fan of Drew McIntyre. I thought he could have been a huge star. I thought he was a great heel. Had good mic skills. So I'm very disappointed he got released. I don't know where he's going to go, because I don't think he's going to go to TNA, because his ex-wife is still there. So that'd be very awkward. So don't expect to see him in TNA. I don't know where he's going to go. Maybe Ring of Honor. Maybe Global Force Wrestling, the new Jeff Jarrett promotion. He's got to go somewhere. He's too talented. He's only 29 years old. He's too talented, too young to just stop wrestling now. Okay, next guy, JTG. And I was disappointed JTG's gone, just because I was always making JTG jokes on Twitter, whenever they're announcing who's gonna be the mystery opponent, who's gonna be the mystery partner. I'm oh, it's gonna be JTG, because he was with Crime Time for a while, then they broke up, and then all of a sudden he just stopped wrestling, and he has Twitter rant 2012 where he complained about his spot in the roster, and then next week he had to go out and job to Ryback, and then after that he just stopped wrestling and just stopped showing up on TV, and people didn't even realize he was still on the roster. I think one time I went to a WWE show, and the dark match was Michael McGillicuddy versus JTG, I think, and it was I can't believe these guys are still even on the roster. It's Michael McGillicuddy. He's now Curtis Axel, but before he became Curtis Axel, he just was not being used at all. And JTG, I don't even know when's the last time he's been on TV. Probably 2012. So I'm gonna miss him a little bit, just because I just thought it was funny to make jokes about him. Now I can't make any more JTG jokes. So okay, next one, Jinder Mahal. Never was a huge Jinder Mahal fan, but I never thought didn't think he really got a good shot to like get pushed or anything. He started off feuding with Great Khali in the beginning, and then that died out quickly, and then he just became a jobber, and then he joined Free and B, and then he was done. He's only been in the company for like 2 years, I think. I'm not too upset to see Jinder Mahal gone because I wasn't a big fan of him, but I would love to see him get an actual chance to do something in WWE so he can prove me wrong. But oh, he's gone, so not that much to talk about there. Oksana's next. A little bit surprised by Oksana because I thought like the Divas division was kind of thin. They could just use more Divas. And I was wondering like why they get rid of Oksana, like she wasn't that bad, was she? But then I was thinking like talk about old Divas on the roster. And I was thinking like, if I was working for the WWE and I had to cut one diva, who would I cut? And I was thinking like you can't cut any of the total divas, so they're safe. Eva Marie, the Bella Twins, Natty, the Funkadactyls, they're all safe because they're total divas. So you can't cut them. You can't cut Paige or Emma are still too new. AJ Lee, I don't know when she's coming back, but you can't cut her. Alicia Fox, that's getting pushed now. You can't cut her. Layla's a veteran, you need her, and she's in a current storyline. So I looked at the roster and came to the conclusion that Oksana and Rosa Mendes are the only two divas that they bring nothing to the table. There's no reason why WWE needs to keep them. So I'm kind of surprised Rosa Mendes wasn't cut. Now I think about it, because why do you need Rosa Mendes? I guess it's between her and Oksana. They just picked Oksana just because was it last year Oksana broke Naomi's eye or something, and she's kind of like reckless. She's not really a safe worker, so they cut her. Next one I got on my list, Teddy Long. He's been with WWE for a long time, since 1998. If you didn't know, he was a referee a lot during the Attitude Era. So he was not just a SmackDown general manager, he was a referee for a while. So it's weird to see him finally gone after so many years. And Teddy Long, he's been off TV for almost a year. Once Vicky Guerrero became the general manager of SmackDown, Teddy Long just left and he was never seen since. And Teddy Long, I think I read it. I should have wrote down the year. I think he's currently 66 years old. Hope I got that right. So really, he should be retiring. So I wish they could have gave him the Jim Ross deal, which is said they call it a retirement, not a release. Because actually, I read just today, his contract actually expired. So it's not like he even got released. He just did not sign him. So I don't know why they had to embarrass him like that and say that they released him when really he basically retired. So nothing to talk about here. We're gonna miss Teddy Long, but he's been gone. He was never coming back. That decision was made long before yesterday. Camacho, former bodyguard of Hunico. Hunico's now Sin Cara. And really, if Hunico wasn't Sin Cara, Hunico would probably be gone right now too. We didn't see much of Camacho. I don't have much to say about him. Just because all I'm gonna say is that they weren't using him. That was probably a good decision to release him. Bros Clay, that's a kind of surprise. They haven't used him a lot, but he was a big deal in 2012. It looked like he was going to become a future main event star. He had some nice wins, and then he just they stopped pushing him, and they stopped using him on TV, and then he was gone. I think I read a little bit how he was kind of not a safe worker. He was getting people injured, or his style was. He had a style that could injure people, and that's maybe why they didn't like him. And I don't know how good his promos were, because he really didn't have much time in the mic. So I don't know about Bros Clay. It's just weird to see him gone. Evan Bourne is a weird one because they waited so long for Evan Bourne to be healed. Finally, he's got healthy now. His last match on TV was January 16, 2012 on Raw. And believe it or not, he's wrestled last year. He had a dark match in March 2013 against Sami Zayn, an NXT dark match. And so that was when people thought he's been cleared to compete he's been ready since 2013. And they just the reason I was reading was that they had no storylines for him. And then they just released him yesterday, and I'm thinking why did you wait so long? Why didn't you just release him right away? You wait that long for him to get ready. He's been injured. He was out since January 16, because first he got suspended, then while he was suspended, he got injured. So he's been off TV for over 2 years, and now you just release him now. I don't know why they wait so long. Yoshitatsu, yeah, I saw him in a Superstars taping in September 2009. I went to a WWE event. He jobbed to Sheamus. That was 2009, so he's been a jobber for almost 4 years. And I guess I read he actually like had a title shot at ECW a little bit after that, where I saw him, but he was never a huge star in the main roster for really the last like 3 years. He said like small spots on TV, hasn't really got put into a huge big feud or anything on Raw or SmackDown. So really, it's one of those guys like I feel like I don't know why they waited so long for to release him. And then finally, Mark Harris, referee, I have nothing to say about him. I don't even remember him. And I read that he wasn't even here that long. Here's some news I got. Kurt Hawkins and Bros Clay have already signed with Pro Wrestling Syndicate, so they already got new jobs. I forgot to talk about Kurt Hawkins. I kind of like Kurt Hawkins. He had a tag team with Tyler Rex that was pretty good. This was like 2011, 2012. They had tag team with Tyler Rex that was pretty good. They were doing this whole stripper gimmick. And then Tyler Rex just quit WWE to be with his family. So once Tyler Rex quit, they stopped using Kurt Hawkins on TV, and he hasn't been really used since. But I've seen him talk on some WWE DVDs. He was interviewed for the CM Punk DVD. And he seems like a big wrestling fan. Like he really loves the business. So I was hoping he would be used more, and kind of sad to see him go because I think he's got the passion for wrestling. I would love to see. I'm not saying I'm a huge Kurt Hawkins fan because I never really got to see him that much, but I would like to see him more to see like what he could do. And I feel like he hasn't really got a fair chance to do anything. So that's kind of. But let's see. He's already signed for a new independent company. Hopefully he can do well there. Okay, so. And here's an interesting quote when everybody got released yesterday, it reminded me of a quote I heard from Daniel Bryan that he said on the CM Punk DVD. So he was probably interviewed somewhere in 2012 when he said this. I wrote down, this is what he said. They were talking about how Daniel Bryan was talking about how how much CM Punk cares for wrestling, and then he mentioned that there are a lot of people who just do this for money. When he says people, he means wrestlers. There are guys who are hiding in the back right now, hoping they don't get picked for a Superstars match tonight, because they just like to chill out and earn money just by not doing anything. So that's like, I heard that on the DVD. I was like, wow. I mean, I'm surprised they let him admit that guys that on our WWE roster right now or back then, they just were there for the money. They didn't care if they got wrestled or not. In fact, they're hiding, hoping they didn't get picked for a Superstars match before Raw started. And he said, according to Dan Bryan, which is not a few of these people, he said a lot of people just do it for the money. And I'm wondering how many of these guys they got released today just do it for the money. They've been inactive for a year, most of them, like Bros Clay and Yoshitatsu and Kurt Hawkins, JTG, all these guys haven't barely used it all, but yet they still show up and they come in to collect the paycheck. I'm wondering, are they doing it just for the money? Do they have any passion for wrestling? Because I'm sure when they got into wrestling, their goal was to become a huge star. They were doing it more just for money. I hope. If I was a wrestler, I would be asking them. I couldn't just sit around and do nothing and get paid. I wouldn't survive about it. I wouldn't. It would just drive me nuts. I would go to anybody, ask them is there anything for me to do? Can I be in the Rosebud? Can I be a Rosebud? Can I be a security? Can I do security? Can I somehow do something to get on TV? Instead of just sitting there and do nothing. So I wonder how many of these guys, I would lose a lot of respect for some of these guys if, they should be mad they got released yesterday because they had unfinished goals that they wanted to accomplish and they didn't get a chance to accomplish it now because they're released from WWE. That's why he should be upset, because maybe Kurt Hawkins' goal was to become Intercontinental Champion. Maybe JTG wanted to get another big match on pay-per-view or something, because he had that strap match at one of the pay-per-views against his former partner. He hasn't been at a pay-per-view match since. So maybe his goal is maybe he had a goal to get back on pay-per-view or something. Bros Clay, maybe he had a goal. Hope these guys all have goals that they want to accomplish. That's why they're mad. Hope that I'm not mad because now I'm out of a paycheck and now I have to actually work for my money. Yeah. I mean, the big theme about a lot of these guys is like half these guys, they were just inactive for a whole year, and it's just odd that one of the biggest problems. But I read about a book for the death of WCW. One of their biggest problems was that they would sign a bunch of guys, and they wouldn't use them. I mean, I read I was gonna research this. I forgot the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, Lenny Poffo. He was a star in he wrestled for WWE. He was not really a huge star for them, but he was like a mid-card talent, I guess. He actually signed with WCW, and he just I think I read he got paid like $100,000 or something like that, and he was not used on TV at all. I mean, that's crazy. You're paying him $100,000 in 1 year. He might even more than that, and they don't just use him at all. Not one single appearance on TV. That's how I feel about WWE with these other guys like Bros Clay and JTG and Kurt Hawkins and Yoshi Tatsu and Evan Bourne. I mean, why are we paying these guys to do nothing? And now all of a sudden, WWE Network's not making enough money as out they were, so now they decided to release them. These guys should be released a long time ago. I'm not happy to see them go. But if you weren't going to do anything with them, and you knew that you weren't going to do anything with them, why keep them around? It doesn't make sense to me. And, WWE is like a billionaire company, and they're making stupid decisions like that. I don't get it. And I'm going to link an article in the description for this video. I found this cool article in Bleacher Report. This guy, so it's easy read. He doesn't write too much. It just goes over every guy that got released and says some interesting facts about them. That was really interesting. That some stuff I didn't even know about. So I thought it was kind of interesting read. So I'm including that in the description of this video. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.